Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you and take.
Welcome to Hide and Seek TV. I'm about to get ready to delve deep into this whole situation with the Little Rock Nine, and I'm gonna delve on this on a conscious level because this right here was a huge situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna delve into it and how they use this to reel in their agenda. But I want you to really pay attention to this. Notice, just pay attention to the whole expression on the kids because back then, it was so much people getting paid for crisis acting like we know how they've been doing now. But really pay attention to this.
1957, 9 black school children, the eldest only 17, forced us through such a blockade. They sought a better education for themselves and the opportunity to pursue the American dream.
This is Central High School, Little Rock.
Do you feel it's now I want you to pay attention to her because she's clearly reading the script. Pay attention to this.
Worth it going through this?
Yes, I do.
You see that? How she looked and then she said, yes, I do. Watch this.
Do you feel it's worth it going through this?
Yes, I do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. It's so deep because what got me too is listen to her talk. This is the main girl, Elizabeth Eckford.
There was a pack of reporters and photographers in front of me walking backwards and asking me questions. There was a pack of reporters and photographers in front of me walking backwards and asking me questions.
Like, come on, man. But listen to this. What got me tripped out is how when you look back at this whole thing, what's so deep about this is how all of their parents, a lot of their parents were all military connected. You know what I'm saying? A lot of their parents are military connected, and a lot of their parents were mason builders. You know what I mean? Brick masons, and the mothers were like homemakers. It's crazy how Carlotta Walls, her father was a brick mason and a World War II veteran, and her mother was a secretary in the Office of Public Housing. You know what I'm saying? And what got me thinking on that, I'm like, wow, because Elizabeth Eckford, her father was, I think, a maintenance man, if I'm not mistaken, for trains. But what got me going about this is how all of these people are all tied in with military. You know what I'm saying? And it literally like tripped me out on that because I'm like, it don't make any sense. You know what I mean? Everything, because the military, if you know about the whole thing, as you can see, notice the military, I think was it Eisenhower, if I'm not mistaken, had sent in the military to help them out. You know what I'm saying? So they can get escorted to the school. It was all a big social agenda. You know what I mean? And when I looked at another one, her name is Melba Beals. Her father was a brick mason as well. You know what I'm saying? Her father was a brick mason. You know what I mean? And it's all tied in military. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of this stuff is crazy how all of these people are literally all got the same background story. You know what I mean? It's deep stuff because as I looked into this, it just made me go, wow. Because when you look at Arkansas, it literally means the name of the people downstream. And what tripped me out about that is like when you go back into when you look at the Arkansas River, how it goes from the west and extends down to the south. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at the Jordan River, how it goes from the north to the south. You get where I'm going. And what's so deep about this is how, you know, about during the time of Joshua and the Israelites, how they went into how they crossed into the promised land. You know what I'm saying? What's so deep about that? Hint the Little Rock aspect. And you see how I said Little Rock literally mean the people downstream. And what got me thinking about that, because in Hosea 5, what got me going is how it says in verse 10, the princes of Judah were like them that removed the bound. Therefore, I will pour out my wrath upon them like water. Hence, Arkansas mean people downstream. But what's so deep about this is how they literally, when you look at how it's called Little Rock, And when you go back to Joshua 4:20, that those 12 stones which had taken from the Jordan River, you know what I'm saying? The 12 stones that Joshua took from the Jordan River, representing the 12 tribes of Israel undergoing judgment, because the stones wasn't even seen. Hint the little rock aspect. You know what I'm saying? And as it's written too in Revelation 18, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city, spiritual Babylon, be thrown down, and shall be no more found at all. But what's so deep about this is, like, when you understand the whole aspect of the desegregation of the black and the white schools, what's so deep about that, to delve into that, when you notice, you look at the black and white checkerboard floor. And when you understand what they use the black and the white force for, duality, it's like a base of consciousness. And out of that shall the senses and everything be under control. And when you look at this whole thing, it was all to lure the people in. You know what I'm saying? Lure everybody into a one world system. Because as you look at this, look at these people. This is all a Little Rock Nine and Bill Clinton. Look at that, and look at the Masonic hand on the chest. That's a whole Masonic ritual. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing was literally nothing but a movie before our eyes. You feel where I'm going with this? Because even the governor at the time, who was saying ban, he was basically trying to say, if you try to integrate, we'll basically go against you. He was military. You know what I mean? He was ex-military. He was a military intelligence officer. And what does a military intelligence officer do? They literally are over control of personnel. You know what I'm saying? And information. Threats to the military. You know what I mean? He literally was in World War II. He was an intelligence officer. Like, come on, man. And look at the sign he's throwing up. He's straight up throwing up nothing but the Baphomet peace sign. You see what I'm saying? Look at that, and then look at this. Come on, man. Look at everything that these people literally do to us, and we grow up thinking about it. Because if you remember, like I said, going back to the stone, hint the Little Rock aspect, and what I'm looking at it as is as like the sense of the stones, because they crossed over to the promised land from when they crossed the Jordan River, and hint how this whole theme is literally like them trying to say basically, you're in the promised land, desegregate and merge everything together as one. You feel what I'm saying? Because look at this. Look at him, man. Look at how they're all reacting. It's all like a stage play. Look at how they're looking at the cameras. You feel where I'm going with this? Like, this stuff is deep stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? It's literally deep stuff. Because it's so deep how I paid attention to that, because even the other girl, one of the girls, her name I think is Minnie Jean Brown. Her mother was a homemaker and a nurse aide during the crisis, and her father was an independent mason and landscaping contractor. Hint the sense of the masonry. You know what I'm saying? Now you get where I'm going with this, because when you understand the sense of all them saying they all got parents who are basically brick masons. You know what I'm saying? As you understand, that's nothing but like literally saying they're basically all playing a part in building the pyramid, the great pyramid to exalt Satan as the Most High. Hence why they literally said that Elizabeth Eckford, when she was literally walking to the school by herself, they literally said that she was nothing. She was wearing the black and white. You know what I'm saying? And I actually can pull that up. She literally was wearing black and white. And that's when she went to the school by herself. You know what I mean? They said that she rode the bus by herself and everything. She literally is wearing the black and white dress. You know what I'm saying? Hint the whole Brown versus education. Look at this. Straight black and white. This is all masonry. Look at the lady to the left of her. Look how she's looking at the camera. It's like a whole movie before our eyes. You know what I'm saying? It's literally like a movie before our eyes. Come on, man. Listen to her one more time.
There was a pack of reporters and photographers in front of me walking backwards and asking me questions.
Listen to that. Listen to that, man. It's all a movie. This is all a movie.
Do you feel it's worth it going through this?
Yes, I do.
Come on, man. All of this was hint the military is involved. All of this was a big social experiment. You know what I'm saying? And not even just that, but like literally, like I said, to reel us into the whole theme of like that's why they all said all their parents was brick masons. All of them were literally building everything for this whole set of the agenda of everything becoming one world order. Hence why they used the black and the white and they said desegregate and allow the black in, because that whole aspect that they use it in reverse is representing darkness and light coming together as one. That's why they had said the whites were fighting off the blacks, then wanting to come to the school. Hint the number 9. In Masonry, the number 9 in the occult literally just represents completion. You know what I'm saying? And just to even dig into it a little more, as you see, look at the codes they already show you. Look, they said stop the race mixing march of the Antichrist. You know what I'm saying? Race mixing is communism. Race mixing is communism. Like I said, the black and the white aspect of how they use it in this world and in their agenda, they was already showing you then they just basically play it among humans and stage everything so that real people will be affected. But all it was initiate one world order, mixing good and evil together, light and darkness. But they swapped the true aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Because they like to play in a sense of masonry. You feel what I'm saying? It's all a part of the game. But notice how they use black people and white people to play out their whole agenda. You know what I'm saying? Because notice how they say that. And look at this. With Dr. King, you see that? That look like Rosa Parks right there. You know what I'm saying? And all of this and training school for communists. That's what the whole thing was about. You know what I mean? Even back in the time, I think it was back when America really was starting out, back in like not really starting out, but recently, like really starting to like build up the agencies. This was like the 40s. And it was a man out in Baltimore who was exposing America's ties with Europe and about communism, and they literally put him. He was under mind control, and they said, "Oh, he jumped out the naval building in Baltimore, and then killed himself." You know. Thank you for watching Hide and Seek TV. Stay tuned. Much more is dropping. Peace.